Welcome to Audit the Audit, where we sort out the who and what and the right and wrong of police interactions. This episode covers the sovereign citizen movement, the Uniform Commercial Code, and the right to travel, and is brought to us by Real World Police's channel. Be sure to check out the description below and give them the credit that they deserve. Before we dive into the interaction, I want to give a big thanks to the sponsor of this episode, Policy Genius. If you have a family that depends on your income, you need life insurance. It's that simple. Traditionally, the process of buying life insurance was riddled with formalities and complicated paperwork, but the Policy Genius team has reinvented the insurance shopping experience from start to finish. Not only does Policy Genius offer personalized quotes from top companies in minutes, but it also allows you to compare your quotes all in one place and get unbiased advice from Policy Genius experts. You can save 50% or more on life insurance by comparing quotes with Policy Genius, and you can save $1,300 or more per year by using Policy Genius to compare life insurance policies. Given the unpredictable nature of 2020, it is never too late to be prepared for whatever 2021 has to offer, and Policy Genius has made it easier than ever to ensure that your family is protected from unforeseen events. Head over to policygenius.com/audittheaudit to shop the market and start saving today. Thanks again to Policy Genius for sponsoring this episode. At approximately 12:30 a.m. on August 3rd, 2019, 48-year-old Michigan resident Andre Gardner was heading to a nearby family member's house after leaving the local corner store when he was stopped by an officer. It is unclear what department the officer was with, but this interaction occurred in the city of Kalamazoo, so it is likely a Kalamazoo public safety officer.
What was that?
I said I haven't committed.
Like I said, I just need. There was no. Is the license plate behind that piece of paper? Or?
No, I'm a traveler. I already talked. Man, I can't remember her name. Danielle. Danielle, your shift commander down there. I already talked to her 2 or 3 months when they gave me tickets before. I travel. I have the right to travel. I haven't broken any laws. I haven't committed any crimes. So I just come from the store like I always do every single day. I haven't bothered anybody. I mean, you know, like I do.
Like I said, you're right. Not a huge deal. It's just a civil infraction is all it is.
But I'm not in the program. I already went to court and everything. Judge Anna Blanchard, she already know me personally.
Okay, yep.
Anna Blanchard, she know me personally. I write my own motions. You can't give me a ticket because I'm not in the.
Like I said, I didn't plan on writing you a ticket or anything like that. Yeah.
So I'm just traveling, I'm right here to my family house, like I always do. Yeah.
Okay. Do you mind if I just verify that it's your house and we'll get you on your way? Like
it's
I said,
my family's house.
Okay. No, I'm not saying you live there. I'm saying verify, that it's not. Let me grab your VIN and we'll get you out of here, okay?
Based on his statements and behaviors, Mr. Gardner appears to be a sovereign citizen, which is a catch-all phrase that refers to a loose network of anti-government individuals who share similar beliefs. The FBI considers the sovereign citizen movement to be a domestic terrorist organization and describes sovereign citizens as, quote, anti-government extremists who believe that even though they physically reside in this country, they are separate or sovereign from the United States. While the beliefs of each sovereign citizen may vary, there are a few points on which almost every sovereign citizen agrees. Sovereign citizens believe that the original American government that was established by the Founding Fathers was secretly replaced, potentially during the Civil War or the Depression, by a new government based on admiralty law. Sovereign citizens also believe that the 14th Amendment was enacted to trick individuals into surrendering their sovereign citizenship and accepting U.S. citizenship, and that when the government abandoned the gold standard in 1933, it began to use its citizens as collateral in trade agreements with foreign governments by pledging each citizen's future earnings to foreign investors. Because of this, sovereign citizens maintain that a secret United States Treasury account is established for each citizen at birth, and a large sum of money is placed in it. This creates two separate identities for every American citizen: the straw man, which is the corporate shell account pledged as collateral, and an individual's true identity. Under sovereign citizen beliefs, this true identity is not subject to the U.S. government's jurisdiction, and government documents such as birth certificates, social security cards, and driver's licenses only represent the straw man identity. As a result, sovereign citizens often issue their own driver's licenses and vehicle tags, and challenge the applicability of traffic laws to them, as Mr. Gardner does by claiming he is not part of the, quote, driver's license program, and therefore cannot be issued a ticket.
Like I said, it's not a huge deal. I understand your reasonings, okay?
Okay, I appreciate it.
And I'm not here to judge or anything like that. That's what you choose to do, and that's on you, okay?
All right.
But like I said, technically my job, I just got to verify it, okay? And we'll get you out of here, okay? Yeah. We're not trying to hem you up or anything like that. Okay. Sounds like you've been through this a couple times now. Yeah.
Trying not to.
Gotcha. Do you mind if I just get your VIN real quick and
I'll move it for you.
Okay, I appreciate that, man. Has it been registered ever before?
Yes, it's registered.
To you?
No, this is my mom's van.
Okay.
You know,
Like I said, do you mind if I just get your name real quick so I can jot down I talked to you? Like I said, I've pulled like 8 traffic stops tonight, haven't given a single person a ticket.
Well, you know, if they say in Ucc Code, Michigan, I had the right to reserve my name because I ain't committed a crime.
The officer asks Mr. Gardner to identify himself, but Mr. Gardner insists he does not need to provide his name because he has not committed a crime. Even though Mr. Gardner was only pulled over for a civil infraction for violating Section 257.225 of the Michigan Vehicle Code, which requires license plates to be kept free from foreign materials that obscure or partially obscure the registration information, Section 257.311 of the Michigan Vehicle Code obligates drivers to have their licenses in their immediate possession at all times when operating a motor vehicle, and to display the license upon demand of any police officer during any traffic stop. In supporting his argument that he is not required to identify himself, Mr. Gardner refers to Michigan's Ucc Code. The UCC is the common abbreviation for the Uniform Commercial Code, which is a set of model rules that states have adopted to regulate commercial transactions. While each state has its own version of the UCC, the rules are very similar from state to state. Sovereign citizens believe that the UCC can be used to regulate their interactions with the government, and many sovereign citizens will file a UCC-1 statement with the Secretary of State as a way of declaring their sovereignty. UCC-1 statements are legal notices filed by lenders to announce their rights to collateral for secured loans, and are usually filed by lenders with the state Secretary of State office when a loan is originated. Sovereign citizens may file UCC-1 statements that list their straw man identity as the debtor and their true identity as the creditor, believing that this distinguishes them from the straw man. Many sovereign citizens also refer to Section 1-308 of the UCC, or Section 1-207, which is the same part of the UCC before it was renumbered, believing it allows them to avoid quote-unquote contracts with the government that would subject them to its jurisdiction. This argument is commonly used by sovereign citizens to argue that they are not required to follow police instructions, such as signing a citation, or as in Mr. Gardner's case, providing his name.
So you know, you just pulled me over. I'm traveling. I'm just minding my own business. I ain't even know you was out. I just go where I want to go.
I'm out here all the time, man. I'm a night shift guy.
Yeah, you know, I usually be at work on 3rd, but I'm out. We off tonight. So
where do you work at?
I work at Evergreen Packaging.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. You know, I'm just trying.
So you got a good job. Seems like you're an upstanding guy.
Man, I just got custody of my daughters last Thursday. So you
nice.
know, 3 daughters. So you know, I'm just
that's congratulations. That's actually something to be proud of. There you go.
It is.
See, I see a lot of people that don't have custody of their kids have been working on it for a long time.
Hey, I'm just a happy man right now.
You sound like you're a happy man.
Shoot.
Okay. But like I said, do you mind if I just get your name? Just to say that I talked to you. I'm not, like I said, I'm not writing you a ticket, okay? There's not even going to be a judge involved because I'm not writing you a ticket, okay?
Man, I just always reserve my rights, man. That's just all I do, man. I always reserve my rights when I haven't done anything.
And I'm not trying to violate your rights or anything like that, you know. Just when I stop somebody, I'm just supposed to, you know, get the vehicle, get the name, and say, hey, just in the future, this, and this. I don't have to write you a ticket, which I already said I'm not going to. I'm not under that. I'm not going to write you a ticket.
Yeah,
I'll give you my word.
That's why I gave you my VIN number so you can make sure the automobile
is all good. Yeah,
you know, because it ain't nothing stolen. I don't do.
Yeah. You don't look like that type of guy.
No, man. Yeah. No, I'm a stand-up guy.
Yep, you seem like that. But like I said, I just say I talked to this guy.
Man, I usually
Joe Schmo.
Just like the last times I got put over, I don't really give my name to nothing, you know, because I study law too at the downtown.
What was that? I'm sorry.
I practice law.
Oh, okay.
You know, so I do a lot of studying. I'm talking about rigorous over the last 8 years. So
gotcha.
I read Ucc Code, so that's how I live. You know, UCC 1-207, 1-308, and I be reserving my rights just to keep myself. You know,
just real quick, just because I've never pulled somebody over who's said this to me before. Out of curiosity, do you mind just like explaining it to me a little bit? I'm not familiar. So like how I see you got UC codes or
you just
it's like 457
my right to travel. That's just giving the public notice. I have to put that on there so it can be a notice that you know I'm traveling. Then the other stuff is if anybody take dominion of my property while I'm traveling. And that's why I say not for hire back there, because if it was for hire, then I have to have a license, registration, and all that. But I'm not for hire. I'm traveling on my own. Yeah, private. Not traveling, not driving, but traveling. And say that on there too. I'm not in any state's program.
Mr. Gardner states that because he is quote-unquote traveling and not quote-unquote driving, He is not required to have a driver's license or registration, which is a common sovereign citizen belief. Sovereign citizens argue that for a citizen to be driving, they must use their vehicle to conduct commercial activity, and that citizens who use motor vehicles for personal transportation do not need to follow any government regulations, such as obtaining driver's licenses, license plates, vehicle registrations, or insurance, because the right to travel is an inherent constitutional right. To support this contention, sovereign citizens will refer to a wide array of statutes, court cases, legal dictionaries, the Magna Carta, and other pseudo-legal references. Sovereign citizens are correct in their belief that the right to travel is a fundamental liberty that is protected by the Constitution, as the U.S. Supreme Court explained in the 1958 case of Kent versus Dulles. In this case, the court held that, quote, "The right to travel is a part of the liberty of which the citizen cannot be deprived without due process of law under the Fifth Amendment. Freedom of movement across frontiers in either direction, and inside frontiers as well, was part of our heritage. It may be as close to the heart of the individual as the choice of what he eats, or wears, or reads. Freedom of movement is basic in our scheme of values." However, as the court pointed out, the right to travel can be limited within the bounds of due process of law, and a state government's right to regulate the use of motor vehicles is firmly established in American jurisprudence. In the 1915 case of Hendrick versus Maryland, the Supreme Court held that, quote, "A state may rightfully prescribe uniform regulations necessary for public safety and order in respect to the operation upon its highways of all motor vehicles, those moving in interstate commerce as well as others. And to this end it may require the registration of such vehicles and the licensing of their drivers. This is but an exercise of the police power uniformly recognized as belonging to the states, and essential to the preservation of the health, safety, and comfort of their citizens." Therefore, Mr. Gardner's argument that he is a traveler who does not need a driver's license is completely contrary to the established legal precedent on this issue.
You know, like I'm not in the food stamp benefit program, so I don't receive food stamps because my signature ain't on it. I'm not in the Michigan driver's license program because my signature ain't on the license. I got the right to travel. I got the right to bear arm. I got the right to free
you got the right.
You know, all that kind
all
of
those.
stuff. You know,
Yep,
so
for sure.
I practice this one more than any of them.
Okay. Well, do you mind just sitting tight real quick, and we'll get you out of here?
Hey, I don't mind.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, man.
Hey, thank you, bro.
All right, sir. So you're all set to go.
Hey,
Like I said, I'm gonna honor my word. I'm not writing you a ticket or anything like that. You've been a cool guy to me. I'm gonna.
Morgan, man, I ain't gonna never forget you.
I hope that's a good thing.
Man, 40 years, I ain't never met nobody come like you came, man.
Okay.
We're dealing with the police, like,
Yeah.
especially now, like what I'm doing now, like it usually be some.
Well,
Man, I ain't
look,
never like.
if I can speak on behalf of some of my buddies, you know, they.
I mean, I ain't saying
you gotta understand the
the
job.
Personal life, you know, this day at work, like. At work, hell, you might catch me a little.
Yeah.
Hey, we trying to get this done, but hey, I appreciate you, man.
Yep, like I said, just in the future, always be cool. Like you've been real cool with me, and if we can have an encounter like this every time, we're perfect, you know.
Okay.
So like I said, you do you. I respect what you got.
Yeah,
but
I appreciate it.
We'll go from there, okay?
All right.
Yep. Have yourself a good night, man. Okay.
Too.
After running the vehicle's VIN, the officer allowed Mr. Gardner to leave without issuing a citation. It is unclear whether Mr. Gardner filed a complaint or attempted to pursue any legal action regarding the traffic stop, but based on the substance of the interaction, it seems unlikely that he would do so. Overall, the Kalamazoo officer gets an A+ for engaging in a civil and productive dialogue with Mr. Gardner, remaining calm and cordial throughout the encounter, and for exercising professional discretion and not issuing Mr. Gardner a citation. Although there is a strong argument to be made that the officer should have cited Mr. Gardner, it is likely that the officer was more focused on his long-term relationship with Mr. Gardner. It is well documented that sovereign citizens can be dangerous and hostile individuals, particularly toward members of law enforcement, and this is one of the many factors that contributed to their recognition as a domestic terrorist organization by the FBI. Bearing this information in mind, it is entirely possible that the Kalamazoo officer viewed this stop as an opportunity to establish a good relationship with Mr. Gardner that may serve him well if they ever interact again. Officer discretion is a powerful tool that can be used tactfully and respectfully, and using that discretion to establish positive relationships with members of the community can be an extremely effective way to de-escalate future encounters with those citizens. The officer's authentic approach and willingness to converse with Mr. Gardner significantly contributed to the peaceful resolution of this encounter. And this is exactly the type of behavior that has the potential to change an individual's perspective on law enforcement. I commend the Kalamazoo officer for his remarkable display of professionalism and fair use of discretion. And this interaction should serve as a model for the benefits of a positive attitude and the tactical advantages of long-term relationships with members of the community. Mr. Gardner gets a C-, because although he maintained a calm and collected demeanor throughout the interaction, he cited laws and codes that were either wholly invalid or completely misinterpreted, subscribed to an ideology of pseudo-legal philosophies, and attempted to use those ideologies as justification for committing a civil infraction. In 2010, the Southern Poverty Law Center estimated that approximately 100,000 Americans were, quote, hardcore sovereign believers, with another 200,000, quote, just starting out. And African Americans make up a significant amount of the overall sovereign citizen population. Interestingly enough, the Posse Comitatus, which was the founding organization of the sovereign citizen ideology, was rooted in racism and anti-Semitism, and those beliefs are still honored by many of the major sovereign citizen organizations of today. Many of the individuals who are drafted into the sovereign belief system lack the historical context to understand what exactly they are subscribing to, and it is important to draw a distinction between First Amendment auditors and sovereign citizens. I highly encourage all of you to gain a deeper understanding of the motivational differences between auditors and sovereigns. But understanding this difference can serve members of law enforcement particularly well. Thanks again to Real World Police's channel for featuring this video. Be sure to give them your support. You can find a link in the description below. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic you would like us to discuss in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to check out the ATA Patreon page for more police interaction content.